You are now watching M.O.D Entertainment. Make sure you like and subscribe.
You already know. I hold it down for the hood and the G line. Straight out the gutter where the vatos know for walk by. You see the bottles on the wall, you see them gang signs. Shit's no joke in the streets, you better act right. I hold it down for the hood and the G line. Straight out the gutter where the vatos know for walk bys. You see the bottle on the wall, you see them gang signs. Shit's no joke in the streets, you better act right. Now, as we continue the second part of all varios in Southgate, because obviously there's so many varios, we couldn't make them fit all in one, right? So it's part two. And we'll be now starting off with the barrio OLS. OLS translating to barrio Orchard Locos, or Orchard Street Locos, Orchard Locos, named after Orchard Street, right? And this is a barrio that first started off, at least from what I was told, it started off as a crew, right? Outlaws, right? And then, transition into becoming a barrio, right? And it was never a large neighborhood, but nonetheless, it's a real barrio and has real individuals that hold it down for theirs, right? They were around, roughly since the later 80s, early 90s when this barrio was established in the outer part of Southgate, right? Their territory consists of everything that was from Long Beach Boulevard, all the way to Atmore Avenue, all the way to Santa Fe Avenue, and from Santa Fe Avenue, their territory stretched back to Firestone and back around. So everything that's in the middle of that is considered their barrio. Not a big piece of territory, but nonetheless, that's their stomping grounds. And of course, the heart of their hood, their main domain, their dojo being on Orchard Place, right? Orchard Street, what they're named after, right? And also on Laurel Place, right? But all of that area is considered the barrio Orchard Locos. And not just right here, right? Because Orchard Locos was established in other parts of the South Side, right? Like in the city of Bell. They were also established over there. So they have a branch in the city of Bell, and then they had a branch over here in their original birthplace, Southgate, right? But this is, at least from what I was told, is they originated out of the Southgate area. And, they got up to at least 60 members to them and are still functioning neighborhood. They still have individuals that hold it down for theirs. You know what I mean? As a matter of fact, I got hit up by people from this neighborhood not that long ago. So these individuals are definitely out and about and doing their thing and holding it down for that OLS and their barrio, right? That Orchard Locos. Now, another barrio that has made Southgate their home, right? But is not originally out of the Southgate area. This is a barrio that is one of, Homeboy's most largest neighborhoods, right? It's old school, right? Dating already back since the 30s. But it originated out of the west portion of Los Angeles, which is known as the barrio Southgate Playboys, PBS. The same as the west side, east side, right? They just have different homeboys that establish in different areas and, represent and establish cliques, for their sides and represent it, right? And right here being the south side portion of their barrio, right, in the area of Southgate, right? But they do have, branches in Bell Gardens and the surrounding areas. But Southgate is their home. It is where they're recognized from, right? This is what's known as the south side portion of the PBS. I know that people confuse the east side for the south side, right? Because of, South Central, right? But no, that's the east side. This is considered the south side, right? This area. And their Enanos clique being the, more recognizable clica. Obviously, they have several cliques to their barrio, Playboys being a, powerhouse and a big barrio in general, right, with more than 5,000 members to them. This neighborhood is large and has spread out, not just in California, but even spread out to different states and different countries, right? Established in Mexico and other Latin American places, right? And, in other states as well, like Texas, you have them in Oklahoma. You just have the Playboys gang everywhere, right? And in Los Angeles be no different, right? So they have different branches of their barrio spread out to different locations. And right here being their south side portion of their neighborhood, and have been in the Southgate area since the 80s that they've been established here, right? And with a strong presence, right? They're well known, well recognized within this area, right? And their barrio essentially is everything that is from Adamore Street, all the way to State Street. From State Street, their territory extends all the way to Tweedy Boulevard, all the way to California and back around. Everything in the middle of that is considered their barrio. Throughout Southern, throughout Missouri, all of that is what's considered the PBS neighborhood. Throughout Victoria, Elizabeth, Virginia, close to the high school, pues, it's what's considered, the PBS neighborhood, right? What they consider their neighborhood. And are still established there and still have members representing for them. These guys are definitely still large and in charge, so you still see the activity by the PBS, and they still have, their homies that be right there representing. Another barrio that you have right here in Southgate that you actually don't even have to travel far at all. You literally have to just jump on over to the next block, right? And it is known as the Barrio WST. Now, I know there's a lot of WST barrios, so not to be confused with the rest of them, like Whitmore, Walnut, and, all the other ones, right? This one stands for, Southgate Willow Street. Now, Southgate Willow Street is more of a smaller barrio because this is not the original birthplace, at least from what I was told, of their barrio, right? But they originated out of the Compton area, right? Compton Barrio Willow Street, right? But they do have a branch of their barrio in Southgate, right? The Southgate Willow Street, but at least from what I was told, is the same barrio, right? Just different branches in different locations. And at least from what I was told, is the ones right here in Southgate, are roughly, some more smaller because they haven't been around in this area of Southgate for that long. But nonetheless, real individuals that do real things right here, And their territory consists of everything that's from Long Beach Boulevard all the way to Firestone. From Firestone, their territory heads all the way to Alameda all the way to Southern and back around. And everything in the middle of that is considered their barrio, right? Throughout what's Tope Avenue, Firestone Place, called in Avenue. But essentially the heart of their hood, their main domain, their dojo is on Willow. Willow Street, obviously. Willow Place, Willow Street, same thing, right? But that is the heart of their hood, their main domain. That's their dojo where they handle business and continue to still be right there representing for theirs and holding it down on their end, right? Like I said, it may not be a large, neighborhood, but they got real individuals that do real things, right? What's like Santa Fe and like Willow Place, and Glenwood. Oh, it's definitely be getting active right there. But yeah, that's what's up with the Willow Street right there representing for them and the WST. Now, another barrio that you have within the Southgate area that's actually well known, right? Another barrio that I get asked, a lot about is the barrio GVLS. GVLS standing for Garden View Locals. Garden View Locals are already an older barrio right here in the Southgate area, a large neighborhood, at least from what I was told, roughly in the hundreds to them. So these individuals are definitely, well established within this area, well known. And their territory, their domain is everything that's from State Street. And from State Street, their territory heads all the way to Adamore. The territory extends all the way to Long Beach. From Long Beach back to Southern and back around. Everything in the middle of that is considered their barrio, right? So was, Chestnut, Evergreen, Cypress, Gate Avenue, Madison Avenue. But essentially the heart of their hood, their main domain, their dojo is on what they're named after, Garden View Avenue, right? So it would be, what's Garden View and like Firestone, right? Is essentially the dojo of their, neighborhood, heart of their hood, belly of the beast. And like I said, this is one neighborhood you definitely see the activities from, you know what I mean? They're definitely an active bunch. And like I said, they're one of the neighborhoods right here that, people, hear about because like I said, just the sheer number and size of their neighborhood. And at least from what I was told, this barrio has been, established here since the 80s as well, right? And, continue to still be right there representing for theirs and, putting it on the map. Now, another neighborhood that you have right here in the Southgate area. Now, this barrio, is a barrio that is not as old school as some of the rest, right? Because this barrio at least from what I was told, is that it used to be a crew, right, that became a neighborhood, right? So this barrio hasn't been around as long as like the other neighborhoods, that are within the area, right? Only have been established since the later 90s, to theirs, right, which is known as the Barrio TKS or SGT, which is Barrio Southgate Tokers. Yes, Tokers a real neighborhood. I hear people, always want to hate and throw their, insult, but like I said, I could only come and spit the facts, but you hate it or love it. Don't change the facts, right? Southgate Tokers is a real neighborhood. Like I said, there's so many different Toker neighborhoods out there. I had made a separate video, breaking down all those neighborhoods, right? Because they're all different, right? When it comes to the Toker moniker to them, right? It's just Tokers, something that neighborhoods tend to grab a lot, right? So you have a lot of cliques and nicknames and different videos that use the Toker moniker, right? But like I said, all those neighborhoods are different, and including this one, right? The Southgate Tokers is a little bit more of a smaller neighborhood, like I said, because they haven't been around as long. But don't get it twisted, bro. These guys are active, bro, and they, you definitely see the activities and you hear about them kicking up noise. You know what I mean? And their barrio, essentially, at least from what I was told, is everything that's from Santa Ana's. From Santa Ana, their territory extends all the way to Long Beach all the way to Independence, and Independence back to Cypress and back around, and everything in the middle is considered their barrio, right, throughout Liberty. And I am aware that they have also branched out to other spots within the area of Southgate, right, like McNerdy. So they have different, you can find them roaming around in their activities throughout the whole entire area, right? They like to roam around and, like I said, put in work, bro. That's just, it is what it is. But yeah, they're a real barrio that be right there representing and for sure keeping it active and putting theirs on the map. Now, another barrio that you have right here in the Southgate area, another one of Southgate's recognizable barrios, been already right here since the 80s that they were established. They are known as the Barrio MLS. MLS translating to the Barrio Marihuano Locos. Marihuano Locos is a well-known neighborhood right here towards the Southgate Park area, for those who are familiar. Now, their territory is everything that resides in the back streets of the Southgate Park. So, essentially, their territory is everything that's from Atlantic Boulevard all the way to Firestone. Firestone, their territory still extends all the way to Otis. Otis to Southern and back around. Everything in the middle is considered their barrio, right? Through Alameda, through Hunts, through Alexander. All of that is considered their territory. But the heart of their hood, their main domain, their dojo, is on Southern and Bryson Avenue. That is the belly of the beast. That is the danger zone. That is you'll get your dome blown if you get caught slipping, essentially, right? And now this barrio right here are green raggers. They use the green bandana. That is, their color, right? Green, obviously, marijuana, the green. So, you get it, right? But they are homeboys. They are Southerners. They are homeboys. It's just that green has always been their neighborhood color. There's a lot of barrios that use the green bandanas too. They might have made a video about it if you want to check that one out, right? Of all green ragging Sureño barrios, because there's more than like 10 of them, right? And this happens to be one of them, right? But yes, it's still an active neighborhood, with members up in the hundreds to them, right? So they got, decent sized presence of their barrio, and they continue to still represent right there and hold it down for their barrio and the Marijuana Locos. They ain't playing right there, bro. Like I said, it gets active around the Southgate Park area. Like I said, it's an area I like to go and relax and chill. So I see the activity, so it definitely be getting active within that area, So yeah, that's what's up with the Marijuana Locos. Now, another neighborhood that you have right here in the Southgate area, right? This is one of Southgate's more smaller neighborhoods, but nonetheless, a real neighborhood that does real things. They got real individuals putting it down for theirs, right? Which is known as the Barrio BAY. BAY translating to Barrio Adamore Youngsters, or Badass Youngsters, as they originated as. They originated as Badass Youngsters. Then through time, they used the Barrio Adamore Youngsters, obviously named after Adamore Street, Avenue, right? And their barrio essentially is everything that's from Otis. Their turf extends all the way to Adamore. And then from that, their turf heads all the way to California. From California, all the way to Firestone and back around. Everything in the middle of that is considered their barrio, right? So throughout like the sands, like throughout what's like San Vicente, San Miguel, San Luis, San Gabriel, San Carlos, and you guys get it, right? So, not a big amount of territory, but nonetheless, their area where they do their thing, and it is a real barrio. I was seeing, that people, always like to talk and hate and stuff like that. There's still a functioning neighborhood that be putting it down. You still see all kinds of activity by these guys, man. These guys be getting up, bro. I see their hit ups, everywhere, right? And they are homeboys. They are Southerners, even though they use the red bandanas. They use the red color, right? It's another red ragging Sureño neighborhood, right? Like I said, there's just a lot of neighborhoods that use the color red. That's just their thing, for their neighborhood, right? You know, but like I said, they're homies. And like I said, they're real individuals that be right there putting it down and putting in work, going at it with all the surrounding neighborhoods because, like I said, it gets active in this area, with so many different barrios throughout all over the place that you're just going to have conflicts and issues between all these neighborhoods. But yeah, these individuals still be right there holding it down for theirs and continue to put theirs on the map for the badass youngsters. Now, another barrio that you have within the area of Southgate is one of Southgate's most recognizable neighborhoods as well, right? This is another barrio that people definitely hear about and think about when they think about the area of Southgate, right? It was one of Southgate's, more larger neighborhoods, well established, which is known as the Barrio SSP or SGP, either one is appropriate, right? Which stands for Southside Players or Southgate Players, either one could be used, right? Southside Players is a real neighborhood that's been established right here in Southgate, for quite some time, right? It's already rooted into the city. And not only here in the area of Southgate, but they're also located in several other parts of Los Angeles, including the area of Hawthorne, on 105th Street, right? 105th Street. And it's the same barrio, you know what I mean? Just different branch of the neighborhood, but it's all the same neighborhood. And yes, they use the color red as well, like I have said before. There's many neighborhoods that use, the color red and, several other colors, right? There's barrios that just, not everyone uses the same color, right? But they are homeboys. And right here in Southgate, their territory, everything that was consist of what's California all the way to Santa Ana, and from Santa Ana all the way to Cypress, from Cypress all the way to what's Independence, and from Independence back around. Everything in the middle of that is considered the barrio. So what's throughout Liberty, right? Like Liberty and, Victoria and Virginia and State, and all of that, right, is considered their barrio, where they do their thing, And like I said, bro, it's a real neighborhood that really be right here functioning, going at it with the surrounding neighborhoods. Because like I said, this area is so jam-packed and you have so many different neighborhoods, crammed up in the same location, it just creates a lot of funk between neighborhoods, right? And these individuals, are, within more than 100 members to their barrio. So like I said, bro, they spread out to different locations, same neighborhood, so many different clicas of theirs, these individuals, are an active bunch and continue to still put theirs on the map and hold it down for their barrio right there in the Southgate. Now, another barrio that you have right here in Southgate, right? But it's a neighborhood that is not as large as some of these other neighborhoods because it hasn't been here as long as some of these other barrios, right? But nonetheless, it's a real neighborhood that be putting it down and holding it down for theirs within the area of Southgate, right? You could find them, throughout the whole entire city of Southgate, right? You see their activities and hit-ups and all of that, right? From this barrio, right? Which is known as the barrio PFH. PFH translating to Proud Familia Hispanic, Hispanic, Proud Familia Hispanic. And this barrio, like I said, it may not be one of the Southgate's more larger neighborhoods, but nonetheless has real individuals that hold it down for theirs, and going at it with the surrounding neighborhoods. It is a real neighborhood. I see people, always hating and putting, this and that. Like I said, only come and spit the facts. You don't like it, hate it, or leave it. It doesn't change nothing, right? But this is a real neighborhood right here functioning in Southgate, putting it down for theirs and their barrio.